Welcome to Timeless Tales, a podcast dedicated to exploring the profound narratives that influence, shape, and define our world. Join us as we uncover stories that resonate through history, culture, and society, revealing their enduring impact on how we perceive and navigate the world around us. And today, we are diving into the life of a legendary musician, bandleader, and a political activist, Fela Kuti, known as the pioneer of Afrobeat. Fela's story is one of revolutionary music, stance criticism of the Nigerian government, and a complex personal life. So, let us journey through the life of Fela Kuti and discover what made him a timeless icon. Fela Kuti was born Alufela Olusegun Oludotun Dansom Kuti on October 15, 1938 in Abeokuta, Nigeria. He came from an influential family. His mother, Funilayo Ransoni Kuti, was a renowned feminist and anti-colonial activist, while his father, Reverend Israel Aldotun Ransom Kuti, was an Anglican minister and an early advocate for Nigerian independence. Fela's early exposure and activism and education deeply influenced his later life and career. In 1958, Fela moved to London to study medicine but soon shifted his focus to music, enrolling at the Trinity College of Music. There, he formed his first band, Kola Lobitos, blending high life and jazz. This period marked the beginning of his journey in music, as he experimented with various genres and began to develop his unique sound. Upon returning to Nigeria in the early 1960s, Fela reformed Kola Lobitos with a new vision. He infused more African elements into his music, creating a style that would eventually evolve into Afrobeat. His band, renamed Africa 70, became the vehicle through which he expressed his musical innovation and political messages. In 1969, Fela traveled to the United States, where he was exposed to the Black Power movement. This experience significantly shaped his worldview and music. He met Sandra Smith, now Sandra Isidore, a member of the Black Panther Party, who introduced him to the writings of Malcolm X and other revolutionary figures. This encounter fueled Fela's desire to use his music as a tool for social and political change. Upon returning to Nigeria, Fela began to develop Afrobeat, a genre characterized by complex rhythms, extended instrumental solos, and politically charged lyrics. His music addressed issues such as corruption, poverty, and social injustice, quickly gaining him a large following. Songs like Gentlemen and Water Not Get Enemy became anthems of the resistance and empowerment. In the early 1970s, Fela declared his home and recording studio in Lagos as the Kalakuta Republic, an independent commune free from the Nigerian state. This commune became a center for his musical and political activities, housing his family, band members, and various followers. It symbolized his defiance against the oppressive government. Fela's outspoken criticism of the Nigerian government and its military led to numerous confrontations with authorities. His song Zombie, which mocked the military, provoked a brutal response. In 1977, soldiers raided the Kalakuta Republic, beating Fela, throwing his elderly mother from her window, which led to her death, and burning the commune to the ground. This event only strengthened his resolve to fight against oppression. In 1979, following a brief period of civilian rule in Nigeria, Fela decided to run for president under his own party, the Movement of the People, MOP. His candidacy was disqualified, but he used the platform to promote his vision for a better Nigeria, emphasizing social justice, economic equality, and anti-corruption measures. Throughout the 1980s, Fela faced continued harassment from the Nigerian government. He was arrested multiple times on various charges, including currency smuggling and possession of marijuana. Despite the physical and psychological torture he endured in prison, Fela remained undeterred, using his experiences to fuel his music and activism. Even amidst political turmoil, Fela continued to produce groundbreaking music. Albums like Coffin for Head of States and Beast of No Nation reflected his relentless critique of political corruption and human rights abuses. His music transcended borders, influencing artists worldwide and cementing his legacy as a pioneer of Afrobeat. By the early 1990s, Fela's health began to deteriorate. Years of hard living, multiple arrests, and beatings had taken their toll. Despite his declining health, he continued to perform and produce music, refusing to compromise his artistic and political vision. Fela was diagnosed with AIDS in the mid-1990s, a condition shrouded in stigma and misinformation in Nigeria at that time. Fela, known for his distrust of Western medicine and preference for traditional African healing methods, refused conventional medical treatment. His decision was influenced by his long-standing beliefs and skepticism towards the institutions he had spent much of his life criticizing. Despite his illness, Fela remained active in his music and political life. He continued to perform, although less frequently, and his public appearances were marked by his frail health. His music in the final years remained as powerful and provocative as ever, reinforcing his status as a fearless critic of political corruption and social injustices. Fela's battle with AIDS drew attention to the disease in Nigeria, a country where the topic was often taboo and surrounded by fear and misinformation. His refusal to accept conventional treatment sparked discussions about traditional versus modern medicine, highlighting the challenges in addressing public health crises in Africa. Fela Kuti passed away on August 2, 1997, at the age of 58. The official cause of death was complications related to AIDS, as announced by his elder brother, Dr. Olikoye Ransom Kuti, a former Minister of Health and an advocate for AIDS awareness and prevention. Fela's death sent shockwaves through Nigeria and the global music community, as fans and fellow musicians mourned the loss of a revolutionary artist and activist. Fela's funeral was a massive event attended by tens of thousands of people, including dignitaries, musicians, and ordinary citizens. His coffin was paraded through the streets of Lagos, reflecting his status as a people's hero. The outpouring of grief and respect underscored the profound impact he had on Nigerian society and the world at large. Fela's influence on music and culture is immeasurable. He created Afrobeat, a genre that continues to inspire musicians globally. His fearless approach to addressing political and social issues through music set a precedent for artists using their platform for activism. Fela's legacy is preserved through the works of his sons, Femi and his son Kuti, who have both become prominent musicians in their own right. Fela's ideals of social justice, political accountability, and cultural pride remain relevant today. His life and music serve as a testament to the power of art in challenging oppressive systems and advocating for change. The themes he explored in his music, corruption, inequality, and human rights, are still pertinent in contemporary discourse. Since his death, Fela has received numerous posthumous honors. His life and work have been celebrated in documentaries, books, and the Broadway musical Fela, which introduced his story and music to new audiences. In the year 2020, Fela was nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, further cementing his global influence. Fela's activism extended beyond his music. He inspired a generation of Nigerians and Africans to question authority and demand accountability from their leaders. His relentless pursuit of justice and equality serves as blueprint for activists, demonstrating the enduring power of courage and conviction. Philosophically, Fela championed Pan-Africanism and the reclamation of African identity. He rejected colonial and neo-colonial influences, advocating for a return to African culture's roots. His philosophy emphasized self-reliance, cultural pride, and political sovereignty, resonating with movements across the continent. Fela's life was a testament to resilience and defiance. He faced immense personal and professional challenges, from state persecution to physical violence. Yet, he remained steadfast in his commitment to his principles and his heart. His story is one of unwavering dedication to truth and justice, inspiring countless others to continue the fight for a better world. Fela Fela Kuti's legacy endures through his music, his activism, and the indomitable spirit he embodied. He remains a symbol of resistance and a beacon of hope for those who continue to struggle against oppression. Fela's life and work remind us of a transformative power of art and the enduring impact one individual can have on the world. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Timeless Tales. Remember to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories that shape our world. I'm Lord Dollars, and until next time, keep the spirit of Fela alive in your hearts and actions.